I think he might talk real quick, talk about how quick about the game and what timer start is, and then I think I'll take over again.
All right. Well, whenever you want to take it away.
Yeah, will do. Okay, this is Perman 2. It's a side-scrolling platformer by Irene. There's 4 playable characters. Okay, and the game is not cooperating, so I'm going to go ahead and reset.
It's the first level is getting at the start.
Okay. Let's hope it cooperates this time. So there's 4 playable characters in this game, and they're all functionally the same, so I just go with the one I like the best. And time is going to be, or time start is going to be when I gain character control, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so what we have here is Perman 2, and as Hurricane said, it's an Irem game, you know, famous for you got your Metal Storms, your Hammer and Harrys, Holy Divers, stuff like that. This game's pretty cool because there's a lot of various play styles. You have, you know, your 2D side scroller, you can fly up, fly sideways. Then you have your isometric top-down stages, and then unfortunately, we're not going to see it too much. There's a lot of mini games. You'll see in some of the later stages, there's a lot of doors you could go through. You can play a bunch of different types of mini games, but you know, of course, in the speed run for it, we don't got time for that. So in this first level, you're climbing up a skyscraper. Well, not climbing, you're flying up a skyscraper. And once you get to the top, you get past all the gangsters. You go in through the indoor. Again, back and forth, 2D, top down, pretty cool. We're going to be coming up to the first boss actually pretty soon. This game, a little background on this game. Actually, I'll wait till after the first boss. I think this is the boss door here. Yeah, first boss is a shapeshifter. We'll see. He turns into some random things. You got a robot. Waiting to see. You got I know Teapot. Teapot's one of them. The most important thing, I'm hoping for King Kong. There, King Kong. That's all I wanted. Honestly, that's all I'm here for, is the King Kong. You just a few punches, take about 10 punches. There's Teapot. It's just a few punches, you take out the first boss.
Yeah, so the bosses in this game have really weird invincibility frames. They're invincible for a pretty long time, but there's no visual indicator, so you just kind of have to know when you can hit them again.
So yeah, so now you have stage 2. The thing that's pretty cool about this game is if you look in the upper left, you can see a health bar, and then you have 4 lives right now. And you're able to damage boost a lot in this game, and even if you get all the way to 0 health, you kind of die and regen right where you were, so you can definitely abuse some of the damage boosts. So you're going to see Hurricane going through just electricity, running into enemies, just so he doesn't have to stop and worry about them. So, you know, by the end of the run, you're going to be down a couple lives, and you can even abuse it during bosses and stuff too. So that's actually, it makes it pretty friendly for even like a new runner to try out. The music is great, characters are funny. I was even going to go in the background of this, actually. I didn't know too much about this anime manga. Apparently, Superman needs an apprentice. Yes, Superman. And he chooses you, Paw-Man. No, you're no soup yet. No soup for you. But it's funny because they actually had to change the name of Superman due to copyrights, and they changed it to Birdman, which, you know, that's not much better, but at least it's not Superman. But in this, you can choose the 4 characters like Hurricane said, and he chose Payan, who's the green character. The main character would be the blue one, which is Paw-Man, who's the apprentice. And now we're on the second boss, which is a knife thrower, and you kind of just punch him in the you're punching him in, I'm just going to say the stomach is his weak spot. Definitely the stomach. But again, like you said, it's kind of tough to see when he's vulnerable, so you're kind of just swinging punches at him. You know the time in between hits. Pretty easy fight, and stage 2 is done. And at the beginning of every stage, you can switch between characters, but always sticking with What did I say? Payan, the green one. Everyone knows the Green Ranger was always the coolest ranger anyway, so But stage 3, you're actually, I think you start seeing it now. There's going to be a lot of P doors, and those are the doors I was talking about before, where you can play a bunch of different mini games. And if you try this game out for yourself, you should go in, because there's a bunch of different things you can do in them. But ideally here, what you're doing is flying diagonally to cut as many corners as possible. This is pretty much all a flying stage, not much top-down. You know, you can't have an NES game without, bats in a cave. So they definitely got that out of the way in this room. There you go. Sadly, we're flying past all the P doors. Outside, taking down the bats. And we're coming into this room here, which with some slimes, and you got some of those little shooters, the little corridor fight, like we got Mega Man going on. And same thing, you just fly through the stages, and you're trying to cut as many corners as possible in order to get to the final door. And that's going to bring you to the next boss, who is a two-eyed monster. No, the three-eyed monster. In a Total Recall-esque fight, you have to just punch this poor thing right in the eye over and over. I don't really know what he did to you, but again, same thing. Kind of reminds me actually of the Kirby Cloud with the eye. I actually don't remember his name. I'm sure someone in chat knows, but yeah, same thing. You're abusing the amount of life you have. Take a bunch of damage and just fly right into him. That's another boss down. So stage 4 is actually we got our spooky room just in time, close enough to Halloween. You got some skeletons, you got some spiders. This one is more of a top-down level as opposed to the previous one where it was a 2D scroller. So here you got your isometric. You just go around punching things out. You're going to see some spikes shooting out from all over the place, and he's either going to take the damage for it, or he's going to try and jump over as many as possible so he doesn't get slowed down. It's not bad. Same thing. This room is mostly not too many enemies, more traps. So you got your fire, you got your spikes. Again, marathon setting. You're just running as fast as you can. Take some hits. It's still fine. He has plenty of lives for the game. Just knock some spiders out of the way. Yeah, too spooky for me. I thought Halloween was done. Apparently not. I apologize to everyone who was not ready for these giant spiders, because I do not like spiders. So we might, after this is done, we might have to burn the cart. I don't, it's not something I want to do, but can't have spiders. So we got some Solomon's Key mages here, making a visit from a couple games ago. And we're going to get to the final boss coming up, not final boss of this stage coming up soon. It's going to be a nice surprise. What would be the final boss in the spooky room? What will it be? Yeah, Minna. Yeah, there's, if anyone heard recently, some guy burned his parents' house because there's a bunch of spiders with a blowtorch, which I can't blame him. If I was in a room like this spooky room right now, I would want to use as much fire as possible. So, you can't blame the guy. But again, same thing. There's just a bunch of traps. Cutting as many corners as tight as possible. Going through the last indoor, and we have the Loch Ness Monster is being kept as a pet. This poor thing. Look how big it is. He has nowhere to swim. There is no room for that thing to swim. So I really kind of feel bad. I think we're more putting it out of its misery than anything else. But again, you're just giving it some punches, jumping over its shots. You're also apparently you can walk on water. So Superman, Jesus, walk on water. Same thing, I guess, right? I don't know. But this will be over pretty quickly. Couple more hits. That's the one thing. The levels are actually pretty much tougher than the bosses themselves. You kind of just face tank them. But the levels themselves are what's actually tricky. This is Perman 2. There you go. You finish it, walking on the water. Stage 4 down. So we got 2 more levels to go. This is stage 5. You have what looks to be an ice level with a bunch of fire traps. You know, why the fire doesn't melt the ice, no idea. Special ice. It's like the ice they use in hockey rinks to make sure it doesn't melt. There's like a system underneath. But same thing, you're cutting corners. It's more about the traps than the enemies. He's going to take some damage on purpose in order to be able to use his iframes to walk through some of the fire traps, because if not, you'd have to go all the way around. Take way too long. There's another mini game that you're skipping there. Same thing, some more traps. But luckily this is just kind of a straightaway to the end of the room. And you got one huge robot, because you need some robots. But I'm excited for everyone to see the boss of this ice level, which is not in that room. It's in one more room. And by that I meant one more room after that, which is after this. But yeah, you're just beating up some robots, you're punching them, little one-punch man action. They're coming out of the ground now, but again, you can just kind of go straight away. It's a very friendly game for marathon setting, and now you have a giant enemy crab. You knew this was going to be the boss. For an ice level, giant enemy crab. What else would it be? So same thing, you kind of punch it in between the eyes, get a little confused. If you're able to stay right on top of it, you're going to avoid some of the shots that it sends out. So that kind of makes it a bit quicker. But yeah, you stay right on top and just spam those punches as it's trying to crawl away from you. Actually, there seems to be kind of a trend. Someone's keeping these as pets, and this is not cool. This might be a true marathon. We're saving the animals. Ignore the part where we punch them. We're saving the animals. But here's the final stage. You're in space now. You're avoiding these giant rocket arms, like sentinel hands, as I like to call them. There's a couple safe spots in the map. You just have to avoid them. And then you have some creepy little robots here. They're like they remind me of Mars Attacks, Martians, which was to this day. I saw that movie when I was a little kid, and I am still scarred from that movie. That's a scary movie as a kid, okay? But you're back in space. You got some football player robots chasing after you. But luckily, you're much faster than the rest of them. So there's nothing you can do. Nothing they can do to stop you. You are the Pie Man, and you're ready to take down the final boss of this game. And what we have here is it is the final boss, who is a pirate warrior transformer. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. You can tell he's a pirate because he wears an eye patch. So he's a space pirate. So he's like the peak of all pirates. But again, it's kind of a similar thing. He does jump around much, but you stay on top of him as much as you can. You gotta wait for his iframes to be done, and you gotta punch him. It takes about, I think it's like 12 to 15 hits. I'm not exactly sure how many. So we're gonna be having time come up really soon.
Yeah, time is gonna be when I grab this gem. Time.
Cool. That is the game. That's a really cool game. Guys, saved the day. Hurricane Mixer, not only is he a wrestling champ, but he also is a superhero and saved the day.
Yeah, that was like a 1307. That's actually not bad at all, considering the fourth boss went abysmally.
No, that was a really good run. It was fun. It was fun to watch, fun to commentate for. Make sure you guys follow Hurricane Mixer, because he has played so many games that I have never even heard of. So follow him.
Yeah,
Smash
thanks a
that
ton
follow button.
to Apollo for the commentary, and thanks for sticking around and watching me play some games, guys. It's much appreciated. Stick around for some more 8-bit goodness.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Let's hear it for Yogi.